Hey, it's Aaron Boughton from Ames Call Center. If you're thinking about hiring a call center, I'm glad you're watching this first. Today we're unpacking a question that we hear all the time. Should I go with an offshore call center or one based in the United States? It's easy to assume that outsourcing is cheaper, but once you start digging into the details, cost, experience, customer expectations, it's not that simple. So in this video, we're going to go through the real benefits, the real downsides, and what the actual cost is to send your calls overseas. Let's get into it. Benefit number one. Outsourced call centers can avoid disruptions affecting the United States. One benefit of outsourced call centers is they're not affected by things like hurricanes or wildfires that occur in the United States. That's helpful if business continuity is the area of concern, but that's not the full picture. There are many American call centers that outsource their calls today. So their headquarters may be here, but your calls? They're handled around the world. So operationally, they can still be affected by disasters in the United States. So if you're looking at an outsourced call center that isn't tied to the US, they may have a leg up over an American-based company. It's also worth remembering that outsourced call centers also have their own vulnerabilities, political unrest, economic instability, and their own weather events. So while it does matter whether their call center is based in the United States, it's really more about how prepared they are to stay operational wherever they are. Benefit number two, outsourced call centers can scale easily. Labor costs are generally lower overseas, and because of that, many offshore providers can scale quickly. They can afford to have larger teams on standby for overnight or weekend shifts, and that's useful for high-volume businesses. That said, plenty of American-based services have been providing 24/7 coverage for decades. The key difference is how that coverage is staffed and supported, not just where the agent sits. And while it's cheaper for them to staff their people abroad, do those cost savings actually get passed on to you? Stick around because I'll be covering that later in the video. Disadvantage number one, cultural barriers impact customer service. Cultural barriers is one of the most overlooked things when it comes to outsourcing. If someone calls your business upset or confused, they want to feel like the person they're speaking to gets it. Not just understanding the words, but understanding the moment. Offshore agents might still help that caller, but will the caller feel heard? Will they walk away feeling good about your company? That's a tougher thing to guarantee when there's a cultural or language barrier. Disadvantage number two. Security standards vary. When you outsource your call handling overseas, your customer data may be stored or processed outside the US. And while some international providers do have strict policies, and others don't follow the same legal standards you'd expect here, and what's worse, how can you even verify? And in industries like healthcare or finance, that can be a deal breaker. American-based call centers are required to meet those regulations, and many, like us, go above and beyond with third-party audits and additional layers and safeguards. But again, this can vary from provider to provider, so it's worth asking about upfront. So, is outsourcing actually cheaper? This is a big one, and we're happy to come to you with actual figures so you can see what the cost difference really is. We looked at 4 popular outsourced call centers and compared their pricing for the 500-minute plans. And the average came out to be about $896 a month. And one of the most popular services that you're bound to stumble upon if you're searching for a call center charges over $1,600 a month. And again, this is for a 500-minute plan. Meanwhile, many US-based answering services price similar plans from $550 to $700 a month. We got these figures from our industry-wide survey when we were researching how much phone answering services cost in the US. And you can find the results of that survey in our video about how much answering services cost. So yes, some offshore call centers may be cheaper, but others are the same price or even more expensive. And here's the catch. A lot of these call centers don't openly advertise that they outsource. You might only find out after you've signed up and listened to a call of yours being handled. So before making a decision based on price, it's worth asking where and how your calls will be handled. So why should you use American call centers? Number one, shared culture helps build trust. When your customers feel a connection to the person answering the phone, it builds trust. And a big part of that connection is cultural familiarity, knowing the references, the tone, even the small talk. This might sound small, but it adds up fast in service-based industries. For some businesses, it's the difference between a one-time customer and a long-term business relationship. Number 2, data protections tend to be stronger in the US. Security isn't just about tech, it's also about accountability. American call centers are legally bound by strict standards, and if something goes wrong, there is a clear regulatory path. But with offshore providers, it's harder to know where data is going, how it's stored, and who has access. If compliance matters for your business, it's something that should weigh heavily in your decision. Number 3, investing locally matters. This part doesn't show up on a spreadsheet, but it's worth mentioning. When you hire a US-based call center, you're supporting local jobs and reinvesting in the local community. That may or may not be a priority for your business, but for a lot of folks we talk to, it matters. So, offshore or American call center? Offshoring might seem like a cheaper option at first glance, and in some cases, it can be. But the real decision comes down to what matters most for your business. If you're focused purely on cost, offshoring might work. But if customer experience, cultural alignment, and data protection are high on your list, you'd be better off working with a provider here in the US. So there you have it. To better inform your decision, check out the resources we have linked in the description. But if you're ready to have a conversation with a 100% American call center, we're here to help. You can reach us by clicking the link in the description below. That's all for now. Appreciate you watching. I'm Aaron Boughton, and I'll see you in the next video.